Thank you. Bye.
No, Keith. This is Keith Bordsen. Did you and your dad grew this pumpkin? This is the small one. They have a bigger one now. This is the small one.
Did you guys hear that? That's a small one.
And he'll tell you how much it weighs and how much the other one weighs, and then you guys can ask him any questions you want, okay? Okay,
let him tell his story first. Listen up.
Alright, boys and girls, so my name's Keith, and this is the real pumpkin that my dad and I grew. We grew it in our backyard, and this pumpkin weighs 1,496 pounds.
Wow!
That's, nobody could carry that. This, when we grew it, was the second largest pumpkin we'd ever grown, and now it's the third largest because on Monday we weighed a pumpkin that weighed 1,600, so this is 1,495. That one is 1,695 pounds. So that one, the one that we just weighed, is the 6th heaviest pumpkin ever grown in the history of the world. And it's the 3rd heaviest grown this year. So how many of you saw us at Lincoln School today? Quite a few, okay. All right, so put your hands down, and let's see if I can answer some questions. Put your hands down. Let's see if I can answer your questions before you ask them, okay? So the difference between this pumpkin and most other pumpkins is really just the thickness of the walls. Your pumpkin might be an inch or so thick, right? My pumpkin's probably this thick. 2 years ago, we had a pumpkin that was solid in the nose of the pumpkin. It was 27 inches of nothing but pumpkin. No gaps. That was amazing. This pumpkin, I suspect, with its size, has probably got walls about this thick. But when it comes to the seeds in your little pumpkin, my seeds are about the tip of my thumb. They're about the size of the tip of my thumb, not as thick, but about as wide and as long. That's about 3 times the size of a regular pumpkin seed. So our seeds aren't that much bigger. And there are generally the same number of seeds in that pumpkin as there will be in the pumpkin you buy at the store. Generally. We grew a really, really big one last year that was the California record. It was the biggest pumpkin ever grown west of the Rocky Mountains, and it only had 5 usable seeds. There were hundreds of seeds. Most of them were blank. They had nothing in them. They were no good. How do we get a pumpkin this big? A lot of work. A lot of work. And a lot of water. But we do use a lot of fertilizer. We use about 17 different chemicals and different compounds and potions.
And you use a forklift to put it in the
We do use a forklift, but I want to look at the colors first, okay? So right now this side is a nice side to look at. This is nice green and orange, right?
Yeah.
If you go to the other side, it's more pink, more like salmon. The green's not as bright. It's still pretty. And if you were to feel up here, it feels like an apple. It's like a waxy apple. Right here, it feels like a cantaloupe. Have we had cantaloupe before, anybody? Okay, so it has netting on it. And if you come up all the way over here, this is like an extreme cantaloupe. And funnily enough, that's what this is called. This is called cantaloupe. Because there's so much sugar in the pumpkin, and it's so happy, and there's so much, it's like, I don't know what to do, and it excretes the sugar onto the skin and it dries. So this is dried sugar, and it's a sign of 2 things. It's a nice, mature, healthy pumpkin, and it's probably going to be heavy. So why is it not all orange like the ones you see in the market or on TV?
Because it's the largest pumpkin.
Well, that's kind of part of it. But one of the reasons is, I have blonde hair. What color is your hair?
Red.
Okay, that's because our genes, those are the things that tell our body what to grow and how to grow, are different. Just like your mommy and daddy don't look like my mommy and daddy, right? The pumpkin's mommy and daddy were not all orange. So that's why pumpkins, the big ones, aren't always bright orange. And in fact, giant pumpkins like this are a little more squash than they really are pumpkin genetically. But we call them a pumpkin, and nobody really seems to mind.
Oh. Does that pumpkin take his steroids?
Well, not technically, but it's kind of like pumpkin steroids. We put a lot of specialized pumpkin formulas into it, Oh, a lot of people want to know how we cut the vine. Just a big knife.
Chainsaw!
You know, just for fun. Just for fun, one time we did cut the pumpkin with the chainsaw.
Getting ran over.
Anybody else over 20? No, you're not. No.
I'm over 24. Everyone's over. It's Brenda.
Look at Mr. Mike. He's going to take my picture.
Save the pumpkin.
Junior!
Three. Pumpkin. Oh, nice.